We're live. Hi, everyone. We're back. I'm Sweet Gwendolyn. This is Doggy Rita. And today is day 15 of Queer Quarantine. Man, I really apologize for the some technical difficulty. It's recoverable, but doing this on my clunker of an old laptop that goes. Anyway, we're here to bring you the latest numbers and updates, and let's get to it. Hey, Rita. Wait, do you want a treat first? Let's give Rita per episode. Jump up. Oh, good girl. Good girl. Okay, so looks like my computer is choking on giving me the notes that I typed up in advance, but luckily I have them also on my phone. So here's the deal. I'm going to do the numbers at the top of the show. That's very grand of me, isn't it? But whatever, top of the vlog. So what happened with this laptop, but then it turned out that there's our 2 days ago, it was 52,982, and then just 64,650. So it basically jumped in 2 days. In the US, 2 days ago, there were 1,230 cases with 5,883 total deaths. And in just 2 days, it's jumped up to 309,728 infected with 8,441 deaths. So basically, we got about, about 65,000 new cases in 2 days, and the deaths jumped. I'm putting myself on the spot here. The cases went from 351 cases to 460, and it went from 3 deaths to 6 days in Travis. So I have a lot of headlines I'm just going to run through. Obviously it's been 4 days, so a lot's happened. I'm just going to try and rattle them off with ideally no more than a sentence or two on each one of them. But Dr. Fauci has a security detail after getting death threats. He's the infectious disease expert who, a chunk of it's coming from Trump fans who feels he's contradicting the president. The president says it's safe to go to church on Easter, so who's this infectious disease guy saying it isn't? Oh, and if you want to know how bad, seriously, although my roommate just went grocery shopping today, and what the policy here is that if you bring your own bags, they will not bag your groceries for you. So I think what I would recommend people do, though, is probably bring a bag and then you put it in the insulated bag once you get to your car. Also, in news of the weird, to attack a hospital ship. I don't know what he was hoping, like it was going to go all the way out in the bay and somehow hit the ship, but he said that it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to wake people up as to what was really happening with COVID. He apparently was a conspiracy theory person and believed the whole thing was his one opportunity to wake, which the rest of us have known for several months now. That said, Alabama just put their stay-at-home order into effect yesterday, but they have been going to the mat. Governor Kay Ivey just put it out there. I'm unfortunately originally from place, and this is very typical. Government officials really are willing to let people die to pander to their base. I hope that she is voted out as a result. That said, they did have a, quote, safer at home policy, even if it wasn't a stay at home policy. So it sounds like a lot of the state was kind of going along with it. But unfortunately, all these governors keep saying, well, we're just taking our cues from Donald Trump. Yeah, in fact, the Florida governor had specifically said if Trump had said they needed to shelter in place, he would have issued the order already. And but instead, he went to the mat, letting all the spring breakers party on the beach. On a very serious note, the demand for food banks is soaring. I am about to set up an automatic $50 a month donation until the end of this crisis to a food bank, probably Central Texas Food Bank, but I want to ask around, make sure that that's the best one. I would highly encourage anyone who's watching this and is blessed enough to have a decent situation. I'm not high on the hog, but I do have a little extra money, especially since I'm not going out and spending money on stuff right now. And normally being disabled really, really sucks. But the one silver lining here is that I will still get my disability check. So I'm financially okay. And I'm going to try and pass that on. Also, if you want to know how bad things have gotten, the FDA is finally taking gay men's blood, well, easing the restrictions. Previously, they used to not take any gay man's blood, even if he was, abstinent for the last 20 years or whatever. About a year and a half, 2 years ago, they eased it to if he had been sexually abstinent for 1 year, which is still not the science. I mean, he could literally have sex with 50 different people in the last week, and that would be fine. So the issue has been that they discriminate based on demographics rather than based on behavior. So anyway, they've eased the restrictions to gay men can now donate blood as long as they've been abstinent for only 3 months. Of course, given the effect the coronavirus is going to be having on everyone's sex life, that might actually really open up a lot of new donors. And actually, the main reason they did this was that there were gay men who had recovered from the virus, and one of the treatments they're trying is taking the antibodies from people who have recovered and giving their plasma to people who are currently hospitalized, and they were because of this policy. So the 3-month thing is still stupid, but it's a hell of a lot better. And they've said that it's a permanent change, like they're not going to jack it back up to 12 once we get past they're also just having regular blood shortages because no one wants to go out to donate blood right now. So, and they also, the most significantly was they said that they are going to, they've publicly committed to put their policy, quote, in line with science, which means that they will be fixing this in the future. So that's positive. Then there's a whole thing where the CDC and the World Health Organization now disagree with each other as to if coronavirus can died from that rehearsal. So that's, I don't know. And that's the thing, no one knows anything, but I mean, at least if you cough, your spray isn't going to go everywhere. So I guess anything's better than nothing. But they're really emphasizing don't wear the mask because there's just such a profound shortage of personal protective equipment, masks, gowns, any sort of medical grade covering just for the people who really are on the front lines. See, this is kind of dated numbers. 2 days ago, New York City had said that they're 6 days away from running out of ventilators, and yeah, they are being creamed there. They're literally just about to run out of everything. China actually sent them 1,000 ventilators today, which will hopefully help. But Trump is still kind of jerking them around. And meanwhile, because it's a decentralized system, is the price that we're paying for these medical supplies, and we're going to send them to the places that have the highest infection rate. That would make too much sense, but Trump is big on the decentralized government. This is also, oh, I sort of typed that weird, but I think what I was saying is 6.65 million people filed, basically 10 million people. Dr. Fauci can't figure out what governors are. This is, I'm so glad this is happening. Dallas County has, because fucking assholes that they are, they've declared their glitter and crafts supply and one that employers didn't have to pay for women's birth control if they're morally opposed to it on their health insurance. And so, yeah, they're already the religious people. And this is in cities where, like, literally everything is closed except for really essential stuff. Reconnect. I don't know. Yeah, it's still counting. I'm just going to assume this is recording. I hope it's recording. Okay, there. All right. It says that it reconnected. So I don't know if I'll have a gap in the video there or on the country. Actually, like glued cease and desist orders to the store saying that they had to shut on penalty of fines, and put out a public plea on the news for all managers of Hobby Lobby to just like. And I got one last headline here, which is that, oh yeah, this is an interesting one. Georgia's House Speaker says that vote by mail will be happening in November, at least to an extent where even if the orders are living in November to vote for the president. So essentially what they're looking at doing is mailing out, I guess, pretty openly. The Republicans rely on voter suppression tactics to win a lot of their elections, being mailed out to all citizens. It's actually going on in other states, but I think that there being any issues in the November elections because we already had our primary. So anyway, that is everything that's going on in the headlines. And then personally, I guess technically this is my old laptop, but it essentially, they said they could fix it over the phone, but it would lose all the data. And I'm usually pretty good about backing stuff up, but it's been a couple of months, and I mean, I could live if I lost it, but I'd rather have the stuff in the last few months if I can, how to access the data, but it's going to take a few days at the soonest, and I may break down and go to Best Buy and get it backed up. But oh man, I don't have to go in public if I can possibly avoid it. And poor Rita, here's my roommate in the kitchen. I'm going to open the door so she can play. Anyway, I've been having cooking adventures. I'm still doing Spanish 2 to 3 hours a day. I'm just tearing through some books that I'm loving. I've been taking Rita for walks, although we have like a week of rain coming up now. So I guess we'll see how that goes. But on the whole, I'm doing pretty solidly. I've got some friends that I'm talking to regularly, so I feel pretty socially fulfilled. And I mean, we'll see how it goes in the long haul, but in all honesty, as a disabled person, I'm used to like being stuck inside my house and having to entertain myself all the time. And if anything, the whole world just got a lot more accessible to me. So, at a terrible price, obviously. I'd much rather that none of this was happening. But as far as having, I'm okay at the moment. And I hope people watching this are too. And if you're struggling, please know that I love you and I really care about you. And I hope that your situation improves. Anyway, I think that's everything for today.